Oh, it takes me back. Let's get sandwiches. We got distracted again from the truth, so we're going to introduce Peter to do 15, 20 minutes. Turn your phones off, save the questions to the end. Peter's going to tell us what this AI deception's all about. Let's say welcome, Peter. Thank you very much.
Please don't clap. I have a feeling. Yes, so the topic is artificial intelligence, and I thought I need to talk about this because recently everywhere, so media, mainstream media, or they like to call themselves legacy media, I don't know what legacy, but anyway, they call it like that, or they talk about this all the time. Alternative media does as well, but very similar tone than the mainstream media, and I just felt like I need to talk about this because none of them talks about the truth. None of them mentions what is this really, this AI. And in general, some questions maybe all of us had. Is it a threat really, or will it subvert our life, or will it do what they say that, oh, we're losing job, or does it make it easy, make our life easier, or make it difficult even? Who owns the AI? I think even that is a valid question. So what I found in general, when I do some research, when I want to understand some topic, dig after and read after the history of it, so like how it developed. For example, if I would like to know about electric cars, I need to dig deep because it's a much older concept than the internal combustion, but in this case, artificial intelligence, I thought, I have an easy job because it's a recent thing. What a mistake. The reason why it's good to read after the history because it gets, so it helps us to better understanding what was the scientific environment and what was the people thinking, how an idea came up, how a concept, because maybe in today's environment that concept wouldn't come, but back then it did, and it became dogma and can be questioned. No, but with regards to AI, I started to read, and the first reference, or the oldest reference, is somewhere around 1950s, which was very surprising to me because we just heard about that recently, and recently became part of the public, or in public awareness, but first time they referred it in the 1950s with regards computing capacity. And the machines, how the machines can compute and like add two numbers or run a script. But back then there were no even robots or automated things. Well, automated were, but robots no. And computing is such a small part of the human life or people life. So why is it intelligence? Intelligence constitutes much more things, not just computing. But anyway, they referred like that. And if we go further in the history, how it developed, yes, robots were in factories, robots doing things what are repetitive or what are boring and tiring for people. And yes, the robots never get tired and never go holiday or sickness. So it's useful. Robots were out in the 70s, and me, I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and read some sci-fi, saw some movie, interesting things, and humanoid robots started to appear then, and we thought by the 2000s, everything will change. But my question is to you guys, what did the AI change? How did, the robots, how did they change our life? Did they subvert our life? Did they make changes as they talk about this now? Maybe on the factory workers, yes. But nothing major. And yes, and the very recent thing of the so-called AI, I just refer it as artificial intelligence, but you can guess from the title of this short speech what will be the conclusion. Yes, so the AI, when it came to the public speech or public awareness, when ChatGPT appeared, that was in 2022 November, and ChatGPT wasn't the only one, because competitors came as well, so-called, all owned by BlackRock, obviously, but let's refer it competitor. But yes, so Bing, for example, Bing has an AI tool, Google has the Bard, and at least 10, if not more, I myself, I tried the ChatGPT, the Bing, and the Google. In my opinion, Google, Bard, B-A-R-D, that's probably the best. But even that doesn't give satisfying answer, or sometimes even to simple things. So need a human watch, or we can't accept the answers as it gives. We need to review it. Yes. So in order to better understand what we have, I think we just need to know what is AI. So this ChatGPT or these sort of tools, these are advanced to Google. It's a next level search engine basically. And the way how Google works, Google searches on searches on the internet. Internet is the biggest database ever. And the HTML language, which is mostly used for programming the home pages, the interactive contents. And Google, we know that this is probably the biggest search engine, but surprise, surprise, Google at a time, when you type something and search, can find only, or can cover only 3% of the internet, which is quite small. AI, so-called ChatGPT, is advanced because to Google, because you type something, which is a chat, it disassembles your engines, your sentence, it searches to keywords, which is built up, and also this software builds up. But yeah, Google, I forgot to say, Google search is based on keywords, on indexes, whereas the ChatGPT or these tools, these can create a database from these indexes and keywords and search based on that, and then assemble the answer and give it to you. So you think you're talking to the AI, but it's not AI, because what it does, it just runs a pre-programmed script. So basically does what a human would do, mimics the human, one very, very, very fractional part of our life, it mimics, it search, and that particular task it can do much, much faster, much more efficiently. But it's not AI, because what the human being have, we have perceptions, we have goals, we have plans, we have awareness, we have feelings. None of these have AI. AI have none of this. So why do we believe it's intelligence? It's not intelligent at all. And if I go further down, or if we can dig down on the biological, so like for example, there is an insect, or there are the plants. The plants grow towards the light. The insects come to the light, and we don't constitute them AI, or intelligent. And they're better, much better than this sort of tools. So believing in AI is just, in my opinion, is complete nonsense. I already could finish here, but there are much deeper. Yeah, so like the human body, how does the human body work? You know, we have the brain. The brain is kind of like a control unit, and controls how all organs work, and all organs sending messages there and getting messages. And this messaging system is the hormonal system. So the hormones are the messengers. AI doesn't have feedback. So like it just spits out something, whether it's true or not, it does. I could mention, so for example, there is a bottle like this on the production line of a food factory, or and the machine, the automated machine, fills it with Coke or something. And if different size, someone just put a smaller one, it stops, it can't do anything. Whereas even someone who, let's say there is an operator there, who just watching the machine, and that person, even if he's disabled, or
Think of the politician.
No, worse. Worse in a different meaning. Not as because politicians have bad intention, but that person wants to do his best, but because of his learning disability or any problem, he still can make decisions. So like, when he sees that a different size bottle comes on the machine, he's taking off and the production can go. AI can't do this. So why do we call it intelligence? It's a nonsense. And you know, when the media often talks about that, it's gonna subvert our life, it can change, or we will be redundant, we will live in basic, universal basic income. So, if it would, why did it not do now? Why did it not do so far? Because we have automated machines, we have robots in factories for decades. Or I could even say the first automated machine in the world came from Birmingham, and you can see that in the think tank museum. It's quite interesting museum, by the way, because well, this town is the birthplace of industry. The industrial revolution started from here. Yeah, so basically, my conclusion is, but please challenge me, AI, so-called, at very best case, it can be an assistant. It can be an assistant for those sort of works which are like office-based, but definitely never under no circumstances can take over jobs for those people who like doing labor or skilled labor. So for example, a bricklayer or a carpenter or a painter and decorator never will lose job due to AI. I guarantee that. But even people who do office job, because it's not intelligent, simple as. It's a delusion basically, and if you believe in this delusion, AI, the non-existing AI, then maybe it fits to the agenda, because like recently, in the last few years, a lot of, so basically the elite wants to keep us in fear, because that's the basis of all their power. They need various tools to power over us, because they know very well that we are more, we are stronger. But because of we live in delusion of and fear, that's how they can take and sustain the power. And in order to sustain the power, their power, they use propaganda, they use fear tools, fear tactics, and we had quite a few events recently, like not just the pandemic or the next, but because of the human is very resilient, we may not, and I don't think even the masses will worry about the next pandemic, but they already promising the X. Yes, but AI, the reason why it fits to this agenda, because if you wouldn't worry enough from the climate change or ozone layer or the plastic island, which is, they say, bigger than England, but no one saw it. It's bullshit. No one saw that so-called plastic island, and I don't know if you ever realized that these sort of fearful things, all of them are non-visible. Have you ever realized that? And this is just side note. So back to the AI. So they need to sustain the fear, and if you don't fear enough from this, then the next thing, I'm gonna lose job. You need to live in basic income, because the machines will take over. They never took over, and if they didn't take over so far, while we had the technology, so I don't understand why would we worry. But anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk, which I almost touched already, but we, the human, have a very unique feature, which no machine under no circumstances ever will. We can make decisions. We have decision-making capability, and we do make decisions all the time. So like, just think about every single minute of our life, and we make these decisions based on our past experience or knowledge, the knowledge that we gained from parents, grandparents, ancients, even things like cultural, and all this builds up. Yes, a whole picture of the world, worldview. All this can be like summarized like one thing as information. So the information that we receive every single minute, that's what is we mix it somehow and making decisions. And in order to control us, what the ethics goal is to control us, to modify our behavior control, mind control, they need to control the information. because they know that there is no other way they can win over us. But if we make decisions based on falsified information, that will be to their favor, I can assure you, not our favor. And if they limit the information, if they censor, if they restrict, or if they feed but not at the right time, we won't make the right decision. To our favor. And in order to achieve that, they want to control, they want to centralize the information. And that's the purpose of AI. And the threat of AI is not that you're losing job. The threat of AI is to control over the information, the available information. And I think, what they want is, based on this, control us, control our mind. Via information control, they can control our mind. And this is enormous power. This is such a power but never could ever achieve by weapons. And I think this is the most important key of my short speech, that we need to take back the control over the information. So what's the solution? The solution, in my opinion, get physical copy of every information, because if they take over control information, just one example, digitizing libraries. So if they're digitizing libraries, that means that they can falsify any time. If they have the control, whoever owns the information, and yes, at the start I mentioned who owns AI, whoever owns AI, and of course the elite owns. Whoever owns it, they control, and they can falsify it, they can modify it, they do modify history, they alter fake. They can modify the data, for example, if let's say climate change. In the past, there were extreme weather events, but we won't find reference to that because they falsified it. Or like the famous hockey stick curve. We had much more temperature records in the early 20th century, which we won't find it because one generation passes, the next one won't remember. And that's why that's their goal, to falsify the information. So, like I mentioned, get physical copy from everything. Your favorite records, books, documentaries, movies. Personally, I like second-hand books, not even expensive. I know it's a bit more difficult because printed copy, but I don't only mean printed copy. So like when I'm saying physical, just save it to hard disk or save it to your drive, but definitely don't save over into the cloud or leave it online, because what is online is not yours, and you can lose any time. They can force it, modify it anytime. So like, I think everyone can see now, understand why AI is a bullshit. It's a delusion. It doesn't even exist. But what I do want is to take home not only that it is bullshit, but why. Because we should be, or should aim and go always intellectually superior to the elite. So they shouldn't say that, you just pub and go to the idiot. No, we should understand why. And I think the keywords are, for this short speech, what we should take home. AI is an advanced search engine, the most advanced what we ever had. It doesn't exist, of course, it just runs pre-programmed scripts. Robots were out, machines, automated things, long time. It did never subvert our life. In some parts it made it easier, it never subvert, never made it, we never lose job, and we don't have to worry about losing job. But what we have to worry, that they want to control the source of information, and via that, and not just for centralizing and control, and via that they're controlling our mind, controlling our behavior. And the solution, again, physical copy of everything. Please don't clap.
It's interesting, I was on a LinkedIn because I'm doing a job application thing, and someone said on LinkedIn, use ChatGPT to write your letter. So you put in all the keywords and it will write a letter for you. And then someone on the LinkedIn pointed out that everyone's doing that. And then they use ChatGPT to read the applications. So now you have to, everyone is writing the same letter with the same keywords, and the machine is checking it for the employers. So it really homogenises everything. It takes the human to human out, but it means it promotes the brand, because they just use the keywords. And the funniest thing is, the reason AI can't be sentient is once you switch on a supercomputer that's capable of encapsulating all thoughts in this universe in one moment, the fucker will be depressed. He'll be stood on the Dover cliffs going, I can't take it anymore. And they're like, you know everything, I know too much.